Welcome back, everybody, for Awakening Essentials, energetic concepts for empaths and energetically sensitives. My name is Jona Bryndis. I'm a professional energy healer and energy trainer, and I'm going to talk about how to actually shift your energy from lower into higher vibes. Everybody talks about higher vibes, lower vibes, the earth's, frequencies, resonances. I'm not going to go into this here today. I'm just going to be really, really practical with you and try to give you a roadmap here of 9 stages, 9 steps that you can take to shift your energy from what you can diagnose as a lower vibratory place into a higher vibratory place. And then, of course, it's up to you to apply this. But this is the recipe based on the energetic view, based on energetic interactions and mechanics that are going on in you and with others. So in relationship with yourself and with others. Why is this so important to learn? Because if you are feeling that your life is just happening to you, if you're feeling that you're just reacting to things and you're never really getting to the place where you are freely expressing, where you feel you don't have the right, or you don't even belong here, all right, then you are clearly in a lower vibratory place. If life is just happening to you, and if you feel impotent, this is a psychological word, not the sexual impotence, you know what I mean, that you really don't have any choices, you don't have any options, then that's very clear. Your energy is in a lower vibratory place. We call this ego place, okay, because it's very simple when it comes to our perception, of ourselves and the world. We can either see it through the eyes of our ego, or we can see it through the eyes of our true self, and that's then sort of just to simplify things, the fundamental difference between a lower state and a higher state. Bliss and lovingness and healing and abundance, joy, those are all consequences of the state that you're in. And so are depression, apathy, anxiety, rage and anger, and constant self-doubt. They're not the cause, they're the consequence of where your energy is at. So let's look at how this shifting process looks like. Number 1, stage number 1, step number 1 is to experience, this oh shit moment, where you feel there's an inner reactivity, something just happened, something gets triggered in you, and you're feeling completely overwhelmed, you feel like you have no options, and whatever it is that you choose to act with will be a consequence of where, your energy is located here within those lower vibratory places, because there's also gradients of this, okay? So apathy will make you feel like, oh my God, you just want to play possum, okay? If you are more assertive at this very moment, then you may feel like lashing out, okay? But whatever it is, stage number 1 is the actual conflict stage. This is where you are reacting, this is where you can feel your autonomous nervous system responding, and this is where typically, shit happens, so to speak. So stage number 2 then sounds a bit simple when you hear it this way, but it is not as easy as you think, is to acknowledge how you're feeling. Where you say to yourself, oh, I feel really angry right now. Ooh, I'm so tired right now. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I feel so sad. I'm feeling betrayed right now. It doesn't matter what the emotion is that you're recognizing. But when you acknowledge it, you are now sort of building a bridge between yourself, your inner self, and your outer self, okay? And as you do this, by the way, for relationships and for those of you who are parents with your children, acknowledging the other person's emotions is just as important. But you've got to be careful to not judge it right away, because this is where most of you get stuck. Seriously, most of you get stuck in stage 2. You're like, oh, I'm feeling angry. Oh, that's not good. I should not be angry. And then you try to repress it somehow. And this is then what creates all this incongruence in your life and all this lashing out. So how do you acknowledge emotions? You say it to yourself. I'm really not in a good place. I really feel anger right now. Or I really feel sadness right now. Same with your kids or your partner. No judgment. And then you feel into like, do I really want to be this way? Do I really want to feel this way? And in order to get to the place of actually becoming able to do something about it, you need to move into stage 3, and that is to say stop, disrupt whatever's going on, whether it's like a bombardment, whether it's your kids yelling at you, or your husband walking out on you, or your boss calling you to a meeting, or your flight just got canceled. Doesn't matter. Disrupt that inner whatever reactivity got triggered in you, and say to yourself, whew, let's feel into this. In relationships, this is, where your communication has to sound something like this. I'm not really sure how I'm feeling about this. Give me a moment to feel this out. Or let me take a walk, or let me sleep over it, or can I come back to you in a couple of hours, or can I come back to you next week? All right, this is where we have to learn how to take charge of the timeline, because most of us overreact or lash out or go into this pure survival mode because we feel pressured. And the pressure is often something that comes from within, because we don't really know how to calm down our energy and how to stretch, how to broaden the space that we have. So those of you who are already familiar with energy work techniques such as grounding and centering and clearing, this is the time where you need to apply this. Also, the I am breathing that I frequently recommend is the moment where you want to do this. This can be a matter of seconds or a matter of days. It doesn't matter, but you have to disrupt whatever this tape that is playing within you, where this is pushing you, okay? And go within instead. This is then stage number 4, is where you actually give yourself that space, give yourself that time to feel within. What is it that I'm truly feeling? Do I really want to act this way? Is it really about that, that I'm expressing here? Or maybe I just need food. Or maybe I'm just afraid that you don't love me anymore. Or maybe, there's something that I need, but I feel guilty about needing this, and I'm not saying this, and I'm trying to sort of project this onto you. For many empaths, that's actually exactly what is going on. We have a need, but we're either not aware of our need, or we're trying to smuggle in the need without actually saying it, and that makes us incongruent, and that creates all kinds of secondary, sort of communicational problems. So we have to be willing to allow ourselves to truly feel things. If you are someone who's very dissociated, and you were kind of conditioned to cut yourself off from your own feelings and emotions, this will be a little harder for you, and you will have to practice this a lot, okay? To just say stop to yourself, and I need some time. It's really important to use the phrase, I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this, or let me feel this out. This then leads to stage 5, which is the stage where you can actually move into your center and then start feeling what is truly going on, and whether you even like that, or whether you even want to express that, or what you truly want, what you truly need, and how you want it, okay? This is already now a place where your energy is going into a more neutral state. You're not in a lower vibratory state anymore if you can feel your center, if you can feel your true emotions, if you can hear that critical inner voice, you are beginning to witness. And witnessing is something that takes you out of this limited experiencer mode. The experiencer feels overwhelmed and just reacts to things that are happening. The witnesser is the one that can neutrally observe it, and even observe, the secondary layers, sort of, what does this make me feel? What does this make me think? What does this make me want to act out? And discern. So stage number 5 is discernment, and the very thing that you will be triggered to do next week, because truth needs to come forward. All these lies, or all these stories that we have been telling each other or ourselves over and over and over again, they appear true, but they actually lies. We forgot that they're lies, okay? And so the next step then to into a higher vibratory state. This requires a little more courage, but it is to own your own part, to say, I'm sorry how I reacted. I did this didn't come out right. I didn't mean to say it in this way, what I truly meant to say. So now you have to go into the truer expression, the more truthful expression, and build a bridge here between this what you normally would do and what you truly want to do. So you have to become more congruent with your true self, even if you don't know how to express this, right? The words aren't important. Trust me, guys. This is an energetic interaction. So the moment you go into this deeper place of understanding and becoming able to own your own parts and say, oh, you know what, I'm just really, really hungry, or sorry, I was just too tired earlier. I shouldn't even have talked to you about this in this state. I needed to take responsibility for my needs first. I needed to make sure, or this can even refer to right now, I need to make sure that I'm in a good place first before we can address this. The next step, and this is now going higher and higher in vibe, so each of these stages is a even higher vibratory place, is the willingness to let go, to say, I really messed up, or you messed up, or we messed up, or this didn't really go that well, or I see we are disagreeing. So to agree to disagree, for instance, can also be a letting go here, especially in relationships, okay? And to move on and to say, okay, next time we're going to do this better. This is something that I am working on. Yeah, I know. To just really go into this place of let's move on. Now, sometimes, and this is important here to understand, sometimes things need to be revisited. So stage 8 is, if you practice this, and you get better and better at taking, doing this time out and taking this space and time to feel within, the better you're going to get at actually pinpointing what it is that you truly need or truly want, and how to express this. And this then requires you to go into this place of revisiting, where you then go back to the other person and say, now that I had time to feel this out or to think about this, this is how I truly see this, or this is what I truly meant to say. And you offer, sort of a forgiving and empathetic energy here to the other person that can allow the other person to let go as well. And this is when new opportunities, new options, and new choices actually begin to arise. This is why all this talk about manifestation and how new options and opportunities arise when you go into a higher vibratory place is not just some spiritual blah blah. Your perception is limited when you are in a lower vibratory place. You can only see options that your ego can see. But when you transcend, when you move past your ego, you will see a lot more options. This is culminated in these phrases, like if you close one door, a new door opens. So even if you can't feel this when you're in a lower place, you kind of have to learn to trust in this. And the best way to learn this is actually to practice it. Those of you who know how to actively shift your energy, you already know this. And this is then the difference between a successful person and a self-sabotaging person. I never know the answers. In fact, I don't even expect for myself or others to fix things or to know the answers. I'm okay, and this is part of this forgiving and revisiting. I'm okay with not knowing the answer. I'm okay with, I just need to let go of my ego here so that I can see those. And I believe in this because I have experienced this in my life over and over again. And what this will do to me or for us is that it allows me to move into stage 9, into the place where I can actually choose, where I can see that I have a lot more options, and where I can then resolve things. Resolving things is not the same as fixing things. If you really pay attention to the inner wording that you use, the inner dialogue, you'll find that when you are in a survival mode, everything will be about making it go away, fixing, stopping. When you're in a neutral state, you'll like, oh, this kind of really sucks, and you may even be able to apply a little bit of humor into it. When you're in a higher vibratory place, you see, oh, things are, not really going round. They're not really in a flow. I wonder what it is that I need to shift within me in order to have more options, in order to resolve, or in order to create more abundance. So a lower vibratory state is always accompanied with a scarcity mindset, with a sense of lack, with a sense of fear of losing something. And a higher vibratory place always comes with more this attitude of I wonder. It doesn't matter to you whether it's you or somebody else who has to change something, but you wonder because you know that there are more options and that there are resolutions. Just because you can't see them right now doesn't mean they're not there. If you want to be notified when new videos are being posted, subscribe to my email list and share these videos if you find them helpful. I hope that you can practice this. You're going to have the links here so you can download this, you can print this out and really work with this. This is probably the single most important self-coaching tip that I could ever give anybody, is to practice these different stages of shifting your energy. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your support. See you soon. Bye-bye.